Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague, with like always is Noah Bailey. So recently, Sony had one of their state of play presentations. Admittedly, not. I didn't think there was a lot of like super compelling stuff in that. It's pretty much all games we already knew about. However, one of those games we already knew about was Wolverine, and we finally got to see what that game is actually like. I see you've seen this trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, I thought to myself, maybe it's too violent, and then I remembered, no,
No.
no, it's
No.
not. And it's wow. Wow. Very like we got a lot in this trailer. I mean, we
mm,
got extreme violence. Wolverine, it looks great. It's extreme. I mean, stabbing, dismembering, ripping people to shreds, like as it should be. Looks amazing. We've got Mystique in the trailer, which that transition for her like shape shifting was like
looked really
I
good.
thought
Yeah.
that was excellent. Omega Red, like there's a lot in this. This
hmm
is a big game. Like I don't know. This seems amazing. I'm fully into it. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
sold. Take my money.
Because they already said that he's going to be in Japan and Madripoor in a forest somewhere. Like there's like multiple different locations, which I am all for. Like Wolverine throughout all comics has been just in a lot of different places. So yeah, make full use of that. I really do appreciate them bringing in a bunch of other X Men characters because, like, I imagine Wolverine is going to be, yeah, is going to be like a sort of a franchise like Spider Man is now, and like I was a little afraid that the first one was just going to be Wolverine and like Wolverine adjacent characters that aren't
Mhm.
X Men because he like maybe you have a cameo even like the Hulk, but that's about as far reaching as they would go. Maybe even I don't even know if they would really even do that. But I do appreciate them go ahead and confirming that other actual X
Yeah.
Men characters because like
Yeah.
you have like Sabretooth, Silver Samurai, other more characters that are more specific to Wolverine. But I do think like we saw a Sentinel, and a couple other like uh, X Men characters and villains. So I think it looks great.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome, and I'm really excited about it. Who knows? Might be the next game could be Wolverine and the X-Men or something. Who knows? I
Yeah.
mean, they could. I mean, I don't know. It looked amazing. I was sold.
hmm Yeah, and they confirmed that it is in the same universe as Spider-Man. I don't think Spider-Man will be showing up necessarily, but they might like make
It could.
references to stuff that happened in New York in one or both of those games, three games. Um, but definitely, if we get a sequel, I think the chances of Spider-Man and other characters from those games kind of bleeding over, the chances are definitely higher for a sequel. But I personally would want them, especially since they're saying that it's going to take place in a bunch of other places that's not New York. I want them focusing more so on just X Men and Wolverine stuff.
Mm. Yeah, no, I'm. This dude, that was a win for fans. I mean, I know a
Yes.
lot of people were like, "Oh, how are they going to do it? Is it going to be violent? Is it going to be kind of?" It's like, nope. And from what I've heard too, it's like, because obviously Wolverine, doesn't really. It makes sense to have like a health bar,
Yeah.
so to speak. Is it going to be one of those things like, because some people are like, is it going to be like Call of Duty rules, or are you going to like, you know, as long as you're like away from danger, you heal up, or how's that going
hmm
to work? But from what I've heard, it's going to be like as you perform combos successfully and things like that, your health
Yeah.
regenerates. So it's kind of like the better you fight, the more your health comes back. So it kind of rewards you for being more and more aggressive. So
Yeah. And that's how Wolverine should be. You should give players
right,
incentive to be aggressive, and I dig that. Like Yeah, Wolverine, since he pretty much is invulnerable and has an insane healing factor, he should just kind of rush into a big, 12-person army of goons and just go ham without a care in the world. Like, he's getting shot, it doesn't matter. So yeah, as long as you're actively attacking them and getting combos, I think that, at least on paper, sounds like a pretty good system.
Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be really good. I think it's a really cool idea.
Mm, yeah, it's coming out next fall. So probably like, September, October of next year, around the same time the other two Spider-Man, the other three. I think Miles released with the PS5 in November, so they all kind of released
Mhm.
within like that same 3-month period. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's um, I do kind of think like people were starting to get a little fatigued uh, about waiting for that game. It was announced at the same time as Spider-Man 2, all the way back in 2021. For some
Hmm.
reason, I honestly don't know why they went ahead and announced it. Like, I don't think you needed to tell fans that you had, you know, two major games in the pipeline. You could just say, oh, we have Spider-Man, and later announce Wolverine. But it's not a huge deal. But knowing that fans have been waiting for are going to have to wait for 5 years for an announcement and release. Um, I think people are like, if Wolverine doesn't show up at this state of play, not that it's canceled, but like it might have issues. Um,
Hmm.
but but all those fears are assuaged because gameplay and story and like every like actual like information about this game was shown. Not like a data leak from 2 years ago that was a like a pre-alpha build of the game that people said was terrible because it didn't look good, even though it clearly wasn't done yet. That's how games are made. But yeah, going on next year. Great.
Very exciting.
Speaking of other superhero material coming out next year, it's been confirmed that Tombstone will be a villain in Spider-Man 4, played by Marvin Jones III, which is
Yeah.
hilarious because he also played the villain in the first season of Black Lightning.
Yes. And I mean it, and he was good. I thought he was a really good in Black Lightning, and
Mhm.
honestly, it just, I mean, obviously the complexion stuff is the
Yeah.
obviously like, oh, perfect casting. But I think he's also just a great actor. So
Yes.
pretty excited for that. Also, I think Tombstone's a very underrated villain in
Mhm.
general for Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited about this.
Absolutely. Like he was a menace in the Spectacular Spider-Man show.
Oh,
Um, I like the interpretation they're currently doing in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. It is a little funny that like that um Hollywood is like, you know, we have when casting for this movie, they're casting an albino black man to play this character, and not not that he can't do the role. I absolutely believe that he's probably the best fit for the role, but it's very funny that like essentially both DC and Marvel have gotten this guy to play essentially the same character on two different like in two different universes. like not that maybe there's no other albino black guys out there that can really do it. I don't know. It's just a little funny. Like you know he had his big role in Black Lightning like 5 years ago, and then just we'll just put him here too. Like it works. It works. He also actually voiced Tombstone in Into the Spider Verse. So
oh,
yeah,
perfect.
I don't know if it's like if that's why they brought him back, or if or whatever. But like it's still very interesting that you know he's literally played this character before. Granted, I think he had like maybe two lines in that entire movie,
Yeah, there's not a lot of mods in there,
but
but still.
yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for pretty much everything from that movie we've seen so far. Um, we know that Tombstone obviously going to be the villain. Scorpion is heavily rumored to be the villain. Also,
Mm.
which is they're finally following up on a after credit scene from Homecoming. Finally, obviously Punisher and Hulk are also going to have varying cameos. Like, yeah, I'm all for everything we've seen from this movie so far.
Yeah, no, it looks. I mean, I'm for it. Like,
Mm.
the series been going. I know they were going in a new direction, but it seems like I don't know. It seems like they know. They have a plan for where they're going, so I'm
Right.
all for it.
Is Tombstone one of those characters that doesn't technically have powers? He's just like that, or is his skin like rock hard?
No, he actually has power. Unlike the
Okay,
Kingpin, he's actually indestructible. He's not like that's powers.
okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
Kingpin does not. He's
No,
just built like
Kingpin's
a
just
truck
that
for no
dude.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Kingpin can just throw mutants because he can. Tombstone
Mm.
actually has powers.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, he's still pretty good. It's hard because like when you have Kingpin, Tombstone a lot of the times does feel like he can't also be in that same role of like,
Mm.
crime mob boss kind of deal because it kind of fits the same mold, but when it's done right, I think it does really well.
Yeah, because definitely in the Spectacular Spider-Man show, Tombstone seemingly kind of took the role that Kingpin, you know, should take.
Right.
And like I really like Tombstone in that, in that show a lot. It's just like, you know, clearly, like, I don't know if they didn't have rights to Kingpin or if they wanted to do something a little different. But like he definitely filled a very similar slot that Kingpin does, which is fine. Like, uh, kind of in the same way that like in any given Batman thing, like Black Mask or Penguin, they both kind of are crime bosses that have goons that Batman has to deal with. Like it is going to be interesting knowing that this show takes place canonically after the second season of the new Daredevil show.
Mm.
And have you seen anything from Born Again?
Yeah.
You've seen Born Again? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I who's to say what'll happen to Kingpin at the end of that season, or if it'll even be actually relevant to Spider-Man 4. That like we know Punisher will have a special like one-shot uh, episode thing next year. Also, he'll be a part of Daredevil season 2, and then also this movie. So at least he'll have some kind of through line for Spider-Man movie, or it could even be like it'll even like a little bolder and have the Daredevil season 2 somehow directly tied, and lead into Spider-Man. But who knows? Um, Next up, did you watch the trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Hot take. I don't really know why this is a movie. It
Agreed.
looks just like maybe it's just because the production quality of the Mandalorian show was already so good. It's kind of hard to go up from there to make it movie quality, but it didn't
Yeah.
feel special and or different enough to be a movie as opposed to just being, oh, that's a good trailer for the first couple episodes of the show. You know?
Yeah, I definitely, and the thing is too, it definitely had trailer vibes for a show, not so much for a movie, and in the actual trailer. So it's like, okay, but also, I think it's also there is some like there's some real like I hate to say it, but like fatigue with the show. Also, I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the Mandalorian kind of lost some steam when we were kind of it feels like you know, the spin-offs have they haven't been like horrible, but I feel like the spin-offs haven't helped the steam because it's kind of like, between the spin-offs, the Mando season 3 was kind of not to the same level as previous seasons, and now it's like, oh, a movie kind of, and then people were kind of like, okay, but I worry this movie's might not do very well, and then they could just like drop it.
Yeah,
That will just be like, bye.
like when Mandalorian season one came out, everyone adored it. And then season two, everyone really liked it as
Excellent.
well. They were like, at that point, the cameos from other things, Ahsoka, even Luke at the end, like those were at that point novel and like were actually very exciting at the time. But then when Book of Boba Fett, a show that people were also theoretically very excited about, was kind of underwhelming. And in fact, the best episodes of that show were the Mandalorian episodes, even though those episodes were seemingly made to directly contradict what happened at the end of season two of that show. So then when you got to season three of Mandalorian, you're just kind of doing the same stuff you started with for season two of Mandalorian. It seems like any character progression that Mandalorian that he had just kind of went out the window.
Yeah.
And then it kind of stopped being his show once Bo Katan was more involved, which I know she's also a Mandalorian, so it's kind of hard to say that she shouldn't be a part of the
Yeah, but
show.
she's
But
yeah, I know, but it feels like the more we get away from her specifically, or from Mando specifically as the Mandalorian, it
yeah,
kind of like I don't know, it's weird because like you like the idea, you like it like exploring the lore and filling in the holes and okay, what's happened since the Clone Wars to these people, but also it does it in a way it kind of like does it in a way that kind of makes it feel less interesting and also like it was really cool when it was just Mando just going around doing bounty hunter stuff helping out people like that really felt like I don't want to say the peak but
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if John Favreau and the other people making the show, if they got kind of blindsided by how popular Baby Yoda got.
hmm
Like, I think they intended on it being a draw for the show. However, the fact that Grogu is, you know, a top five seller of merchandise throughout all of Star Wars, I think they kind of had to course correct what they were planning on doing, maybe. So even by like halfway through season two, they they were still, they had this whole show written to have it be where Grogu leaves with Luke at the end. But then by halfway through season two, they started to realize that hey, Baby Yoda is, you know, a big driver of popularity for the brand right now. We can't just let him go. So they basically, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they rewrote some of the episodes of Book of Boba Fett to include Grogu stuff in it, to kind of bring him back. And then by that point, you're in season three, and then the character itself is kind of aimless now because everything that the show was building up was just kind of reversed. So now I don't really know why I should care about what Mando and Grogu are doing in this movie, especially since the trailer didn't really seem to have a hook. It's just, oh, these two guys, they're doing a thing. Like that's fine, I guess, but why is it a movie and not and not just another season of the show?
yeah I don't know it feels like when this was originally announced and made it was like yeah this will follow in the hype it'll be great and now it's kind of just like oh
I think it would be 3 years after the last season,
right
a season that people didn't even really love. Oh, if this movie had come out directly after season two, we having a different conversation.
Yeah.
But like then I feel like you because the episodes of Book of Boba Fett, we just drop him off and we follow up with him. I feel like we almost immediately have him like wanting Grogu back. I feel if you had an entire 2+ hour movie dedicated to him trying to do stuff on his own and realizing that, oh, you know, the Mandalorian way isn't really what I want to be doing with my life anymore. Maybe he does meet up with other Mandalorians, realizes like these aren't my people anymore. This little thing is my people now, and then goes after him again. Like I feel there could have been something interesting with that entire concept as a movie or as a whole season of a show, but because it was truncated into just an episode and a half of a different show,
Yeah.
it's just any thematic, fun story you could tell, with his character was just kind of undercut by that. So now I guess he's just still a bounty hunter
I
doing
guess.
bounty hunter stuff for eh.
That's what I think. It's like what are we, like what I don't even know what we're up to anymore.
Like, and also this trailer, it see like I understand a Star Wars, so this is gonna sound a little contradictory, but this trailer almost kind of felt like, oh, we're gonna play all the big hits from Star Wars. You have them blowing up an AT-AT. You have a Jabba, well, a hut thing. You have weird creatures. You let's just I don't know. Just it seemed like in lieu of showing any of like the actual story or conflict or reason to care, they're just like, hey, look, Star Wars stuff. We're doing a Star Wars movie with these characters as the main
Mm-hmm.
character. So have fun. Like I guess that's something technically, but it's I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
really.
Like
It doesn't really feel like this should have been their grand return to theaters 5 years after Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, but it is.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I'm also kind of like, as someone who, like, as a fan, even I'm kind of like, meh.
Mm-hmm.
So I worry that because movies are judged on much different scales than shows are, I
Mm-hmm.
worry if this movie doesn't make a certain amount of money, they're just gonna like, man, The Mandalorian, you know, we're gonna forget how good it was at one time because of it might be not
Yep.
be great. But again, it could be great, but I don't know.
It could be, but also it kind of feels like we're like repeating history here with what happened with Solo, where theoretically there's that movie could have been really cool. Not that anyone like asked for it, but like seeing how Han Solo's origin could have been interesting. The movie turned out to be not very good, at least in my opinion. But then on top of just being an okay movie, they also released it in the middle of May. And I know May 2026 is very different than May 2018. May 2018 was bonkers.
Ugh.
I know for a fact Deadpool 2 and also Infinity War was also doing his thing. And there was like one other kind of big movie around that time. Maybe Incredibles 2 was early June. So like it just had a lot of competition on all sides of it, even from other Disney stuff. So I don't think it'll have quite the same kind of competition in summer of 2026. Like you have other stuff in May and June. I know Toy Story 5 is late June. Supergirl is in June. There's one or two other movies that are coming out in May and June. I know there are like there will be competition, but it just feels like they didn't really learn their lesson from the last time they made a non-episode Star Wars movie.
Mm.
But maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
I mean, I think it could, but also It could not. Like I don't know. I don't know. Good is one of those things where it's like it'll be fine, but I think for what they're probably gonna expect for a movie, because it's like, oh, we're
Yeah.
making on paper, we're making a Star Wars movie. We expect, you know, if not a billion, at least hundreds of millions. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see about that.
I mean, if you look at it this way, any amount of money they make off of this movie is technically more individual dollars earned from any individual episode of Mandalorian.
Yes.
So, and those individual episodes cost upward of 15 million per episode.
Dang.
So they're putting all the budget for an entire season of one of those of that show into this movie. So, obviously they're gonna hope for it to make some money, but maybe it won't be that big of a deal if it doesn't make too much, because otherwise it would just be a Disney Plus release anyway. It wouldn't make any money directly. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be uh, on the list of things to watch next year. At least I'm going to see it. Unless reviews are just terrible. But even then, I'll
Yeah.
probably still see it because
I'm
I
probably gonna
watch
see
most
it
Star Wars
regardless.
stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of movies that are like movies that are essentially just a bunch of episodes of a show put together that's actually doing really well at the box office. The Demon Slayer movie
I
has
knew you were gonna say that.
has officially passed 600 million at the box office, and in
Yup.
fact, internationally has passed Superman, making it the seventh highest grossing movie of the year.
Yeah, darn tootin'. And it definitely should, man. I this movie was so awesome. I it was so good. Like I love it because it kind of I feel like this kind of has shown what I feel like a lot of people don't, but like anime is here, man. Like anime
Mhm.
is no longer like just certain people on sketchy websites and
Yep.
you know and bad dubs and all this stuff. Like anime has arrived. Like it is mainstream. Like I know that I didn't
Yeah.
think this movie was gonna make $1 billion or anything, but I was like, this movie's gonna make a lot of money because like
Uh-huh.
the way how popular this show is, the way they set up for to have a movie, how the season ended was one of the
Mhm.
best setups they could have possibly had because they literally stopped like they literally end the season at the most climactic point and then the movie just immediately starts and like okay
Yeah.
go and try not to die
Mhm.
and it's just like it's such a good it's a great movie. The animation is the best I've ever seen for anime probably, and the movie is a well worth investment. It's a long movie. It's not fluffy. There's a lot of action.
Yeah.
So
Also a
much
lot
of
of
it.
flashbacks too, but they're all important to the
There
story. But
are.
still.
They are relevant. Like Demon Slayer has not been shy about having flashbacks, but like they're relevant flashbacks. Yes, the last one went on a bit longer than even I would have hoped,
Mhm.
but at the same time, we've been going at that point. You've been going straight hands for 2 hours, so like I can deal with a little flashback.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it goes without saying that this has been the most successful anime movie of all time, beating
Oh yeah,
out the other Demon Slayer movie.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, this
I think
movie's
it's one
great.
of the things like if you adjust for inflation, the first Pokemon movie technically
Yeah,
had like 590 or something, but that came out in like 99, 2000 somewhere. No, it was 99. Yeah. Um, but like hard numbers, this is the most successful movie of anime movie of all time. Not the
yeah,
Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Not that even though Dragon Ball was like the anime. That
right.
didn't do it. The first part of a 3-part movie series
That's
did
the
it.
thing too, because like when it's all said and done with these three movies, you know this is gonna make so much money
Yeah.
because even though, and the thing that I think that's crazy too, and I had some people tell me like, oh, the movie's not gonna make that much money because the manga's already out. People aren't gonna want to see. I'm like, the
Most
manga's
animes
been
are made
out.
after the mangas
That's
is
what I'm
almost
saying.
nothing.
I'm like,
Like,
that's any anime. Like, that's not okay. Like, you still want to see it because I mean,
yeah.
literally, like they have like shot for shot like the scene in the manga where it's just like a bunch of like squiggles in the line and it's like oh this and then it's like the movie. It's like oh my god, that's beautiful. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm like, nobody, like, no, this is amazing. And, like, yeah, some people may know what happens, and it's like, you have to, like, go out of your way not to get manga spoilers at this point, but it's
Yeah.
also, like, but it's still, like, I mean, this movie was amazing. It's changed. I mean, anime has arrived officially just we're here.
Yeah.
You can't go. I want to see this movie again. This movie was so, I
I
might
might
go
see it
see it
again
again.
closer to the like release of the sequel, just so I remember what had been happening.
Definitely, yeah. But I mean, but apparently we're gonna have to wait
Two
because
years.
2 years. Which again, I get it because you gotta like. I mean, this animation apparently it took them a long just to do the castle part.
That's
It
fair.
took a very long time. Which,
Yeah.
grant, it does look extremely good and like awesome. So I get it.
Mm.
But I'm also like 2 years, and I still don't even know what the other Upper Moon does yet, and it kind of terrifies me. You
Right.
just did the whole like, oh, I'm so excited, man. I'm just like, by the end of, I think, because it's three movies, so you already
Mm.
know the third movie is gonna probably make the most out of the three,
Should, assuming
assuming
the
the
like,
second one is on par.
assuming people the movie sphere in 2029 is at least similar to now. Um,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I think
which probably. I just worry that the hype between movies for because there's no other content coming out for this show in
correct.
between movies. It's because like the actual anime is essentially done as
Mhm.
far as the series. It's just the last two movies now. So it's like we're gonna have basically no new content until the new movie comes out. So I hope the hype doesn't die, which I don't think it will, because I think Demon Slayer is arguably the most popular anime out right now, but
Yeah,
or at least in the top
almost
five, I'd say.
definitely. Oh yeah, definitely top five for sure. Um, there's almost certainly going to be some more video games released around there. So like the
True,
brand
true.
will still be exist. I think Netflix is trying to make a live action movie, but that those never work. Don't even
No,
bother. What are you
kill it with
doing?
fire. Absolutely not.
Why? Um,
I, ugh.
I a part of me kind of hopes that they do a thing where they like maybe try to like split it up into 4 or 5 episodes and just like release it that way in like sometime kind of later next year, just so
That would
people
be good.
can kind of rewatch at least
Yeah,
rewatch the parts they want easier.
I mean, they probably would because they did that with Mugen Train. Because actually, on Crunchyroll, there's like Mugen Train the movie,
Yeah.
and then there's like the series, which actually has an episode that's like kind of before the movie starts,
Hmm.
which is honestly one of my favorite episodes because it's just about Rengoku going crazy and saving people. So I'm kind of like, oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do something similar with just have like the movie and then like episode format too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish that was out. But I understand they're not bringing that to streaming until next year, which I understand because you want to get as much out of this theatrical run as possible.
Yeah. 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 Like as much as I want it, as soon as possible, um, Ufotable or they're at this point in anime, they're kind of like unique in their craft because like they are unlike someone like a Mappa who is amazing at what they do. They can kind of wear themselves a little thin at times. Like, in the past couple of years, they've done, uh, let's see, the last seasons of Attack on Titan, they did Chainsaw Man, they did Jujutsu Kaisen. like one or two other like kind of high profile anime like all at the same time. And like the Chainsaw Man movie is coming out kind of soon as well. Uh, and like each individual show or movie, or whatever, does look good. Like the quality is there. Just you can clearly tell that Ufotable puts all of their effort into making every single frame of Demon Slayer perfect. And
Yes.
it's, I think, worth it.
No, it's amazing. And again, I think Demon Slayer, and the thing is, I think a lot of anime are famous for like different things, but I think Demon Slayer, I think the reason it got as popular as it did, especially like the animation for sure. I mean, I think the story is good, but I feel like some people would argue it gets a little repetitive, especially like by the time season 3 rolls around.
Mm,
But because it has the best animation in anime, and I think a lot of people's opinion,
yeah.
the fights just look ridiculously good,
Mm,
and it doesn't matter. Like it's like this is peak because you see, especially even when it was just on Crunchyroll, you watch like the season 2 fight against the
ooh,
double upper moons, and it still looks so
uh,
good, and the colors of the explosions and everything, and then like obviously the movies are in the movie theater, so the quality's even better. So
yep.
take your time and do what you do to make it what it is and what it always has been, to have this animation just be top tier.
Yeah. Yep. 2 years. But I mean, that year, 2027, is going to be one of the single greatest years of nerd film in
Oh yeah.
history. Like, not only do we have this, the second part of this, we have Beyond the Spider Verse, The Batman Part 2,
Yep.
and Avengers Secret Wars.
I don't
If
know if I can
all
ask
if all those
so,
movies are good,
so
like,
much.
man, like,
So-
hmm,
it's one of those things because it's just like we're gonna be eating good, man.
yeah.
It feels like they
Also,
said every year though, because 2026 is gonna be the most craziest year ever, also, and like
I mean, Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3 coming out on the same day is already,
that's what I'm
which,
saying.
I mean, if Dune
At
Part 3
least,
wants it to be delayed until the following March to make 27 even better, that'd be cool too. Just,
oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
um, oh man. Actually, the Legend of Zelda movie, which might be good, who knows? That's also coming out in April or May of 2027. So,
Forgot about that. Yeah,
man, oof. Okay.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like we're eating good, man.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of eating good, um, a game that I have been insanely hyped for recently came out, and that was Hades 2.
Yes.
So, just to put this into perspective, um, I I like playing video games. For whatever reason, when I'm playing a game, it can be super hit or miss with like when I'm playing how I guess the best term would be draining a game can be. Even a game I really, really like. Like I really enjoyed the recent Donkey Kong Bonanza game that came out back in July. I really enjoyed that game, but for some reason I just couldn't put more than like 2 hours into it before I just kind of, even like sometimes a little less than that, before just kind of feeling like I'm done for now. I can come back a day or two later. I'm just feeling just a little fatigued by playing it. Um, Other games like Tears of the Kingdom, I just completely forget what the world is and just play it for 6 to 8 hours straight. Like even certain Pokemon games to an extent can like kind of drain me a little more than others. But Hades One was like probably the like first game I can think of that like once it like clicked with me, I could just sit there and play that game for hours at a time and never get bored with it. I'd only stop because like I had something to do. So like so when Hades 2 was announced at the Game Awards 2022, I was beyond not just beyond excited but beyond shocked that this
Mm-hmm.
game existed because Supergiant, the developers, they had never made a sequel to any of their games before. They are very much so known as people who make really, really good indie games, but every game they make is very different from each other in like a different genre, pretty much. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then Hades 2 is their most recent one before. So Hades was their most recent one for Hades 2. And I'm sure some people who just like Supergiant as a company were hoping for something else, but you know, Hades 2, Hades, I believe, was their most popular game. I think is their highest selling game ever, so like it makes sense for them to make a sequel.
Probably.
Uh, so, so yeah, I was beyond ecstatic that this game, you know, existed. And then it went into early access in 2024. And I didn't touch it. I didn't like look up any information about it because I knew I wanted to just like play it when it released fully. I wasn't expecting it to be a year and a half later before it finally came out. Because they did the same thing with Hades 1. It released in like the summer of 2019, didn't fully release until sometime in 2020. Like,
Mm.
okay, I feel like you guys know how to make a game. You don't have to like, to play test it that much, but whatever. Apparently it was worth it because Hades 2 is freaking amazing. so, um, so I downloaded Hades 2 on September 25th, and I played just like a little bit of it that night. And I had always planned on taking September 26th, that Friday, off. Just I was going to take it one day off during my birth week, and just I feel having a 3 day weekend
Yeah.
made the most sense. So when it was announced and Nintendo Direct it would be released the day before that, I was like, that's a good day.
Perfect.
so
Yeah.
and on Friday the 26th,
Oh
I
no.
played Hades 2 like it was my job. I got up at 9 o'clock, played the game until lunchtime, took a 30-minute
Locked
lunch,
it
and then
in.
played for 6 more hours.
Oh my god. So 9 hours the day it came out.
Yeah.
Gosh. Think it like it was my
and I, I will admit, the first like 5 or so hours playing it was slightly off-putting some of the things that were in this game because like I said, Supergiant had never made a sequel before. And you can clearly tell that the people making this game had just a ton of ideas. Some even like while they were making Hades 1, like they have ideas that they clearly want to like implement even more so in something else in the future. And they had so many ideas that when they committed to making a sequel, clearly they were just like, yeah, we'll just do all of them. Every idea we have, we'll do all of it. Um, like the same basic core gameplay is similar, just like a little enhanced. On top of having your different weapons and your different Greek gods that give you like special abilities and like on your
Mhm.
attack, special and dash and cast and like there's on top of the stuff that's from Hades 1, you also have this magic meter that lets you do these like enhanced attack and special attacks. Um, and like some things to interact with those as well. There's like a whole like mini farming simulator aspect to it. There's a lot of
Okay.
different resources that you can like throw into a big cauldron in the hub area to like to to learn new spells to activate certain events around. There's a lot of new resources that you can gather in any given level that like enhance other things. Like almost every single thing about this game is like, oh, it's similar to what they did in the first game, just more.
I mean, that is ideally what you want in a sequel.
It is, yeah. But for the first 5 hours, it took a while for my brain to fully wrap around just how slightly different everything was until the 6th hour happened, and I was like, okay, I get it. And then the rest was golden. Now I am just because uh, not that I wasn't enjoying it. I just like for the first couple of hours, I wasn't like quite enjoying it as much as I was hoping I would. And then just at some point something switched in my head like, okay, now I get it. And now I'm actually playing really well, like actually because one little the tiny little thing that just made it a little hard to get into completely at the start was in the first Hades, you can have a upgrade to like dash up to 3 times
Mm-hmm.
and like you have a dash attack. It helps with like with melee weapons. So like dash get in there, dash out, dash with like to with spacing and stuff. In this game, you have a single dash that goes directly into like a little sprint that would get you about the same distance as a dash as like 3 dashes in a row, but it just you can only do your dash attack like the one time in that sequence, and your sprint isn't invulnerable the entire time like you are when you're dashing. So for the first several hours, my muscle memory from playing over 200 hours of Hades One really wanted to dash 3 times in order to like get around enemies and stuff, and it just couldn't.
Just
It just
wasn't
didn't
doing it.
like understand the mechanics of that one little change until several hours in. Um, um, like at first I thought the bosses were like slightly underwhelming, and then just something happened. And it was like, oh no, they're actually a lot of fun. Just maybe the fact that you're forced to
It
fight
just
them
took
over and over
time to
again.
click. It was different.
Exactly. Um, like the weapons themselves, like a lot of them have similar aspects to them from other weapons in the first game, but other things are slightly different. And just yeah, now after playing it for I think I'm over 25 hours, um, I am I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It is definitely my favorite game of the year so far, 100.
Fair
percent
enough.
Um, like I said, I really enjoyed Donkey Kong, uh, but like it was
Same
one of
here,
those
though.
things where I enjoyed it a lot. Like I pretty much every second I put into that game, I enjoyed. I was just like a part of me was like a little relieved to finally finish it because it took me a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be to finish it. Like okay, now that I'm done with this, I can move on to something else. Um, Whereas this game, since there probably is technically an ending, but just the way the game is structured is literally like it literally uh like the idea is you play through the levels multiple times to
Mm-hmm.
that's just the point of a roguelike. Um on top of the fact that not only is there like one sequence of levels to get to the final boss, they actually added a second sequence of levels to get to the final boss instead of like going
Oh.
like down into the underworld. There's now a thing where you can go up like levels of Olympus.
Oh.
So like a part of me was honestly like a little disappointed when I first saw that there's only like four levels, which is the same number of levels as the first
Mm-hmm.
Hades. And then like a couple hours in, there was like after doing an incantation, it unlocked the the overworld. Like that's where the other levels are. Cool. So now there's at least 8 as of now. At least 8, levels total, and like they're both vastly different. So it's good. Let's leave it at that. It is good.
Awesome.
It's not a game that's for everybody necessarily, but
Hmm.
like if I don't know, it's a game that I would personally recommend. Like if you have access to trying it at some point, I would recommend just trying it. You might not be good at it right away, which is kind of the point of the game.
It can be difficult when first picked up. I found that
Yeah.
out the hard way.
Have you played Hades or Hades 2?
The first one, not the
Okay.
second one yet.
Yeah. Uh, do you remember like how much did you play the first one?
I maybe got like 20 minutes in. I wasn't really like, my friend has it and he also is a big fan. So
Okay.
I didn't get played too much, but I got the initial gist.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, I I'm just glad the game finally came out. It's currently a Nintendo console exclusive, which the first game was also when it first launched on consoles. It's on PC as well, but as far as consoles go, it's only on Switch and Switch
Right.
2.
It's not like PlayStation or anything yet.
Yeah, it'll probably come either next year or the year
Yeah.
after. Yeah, I it's I would not be shocked if this game were in the running for a game of the year. Like
Oh,
I think
wow. Okay.
it's currently the highest rated new game released this year. Technically, the like re-releases for Switch 2 versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears to the Kingdom are a 95 on Metacritic, which is
Yeah, but that's
weird
like,
since they're somehow lower than the Switch version, even though they're better version of the games. Whatever. But this is a 94 on Metacritic. So
oh, perfect.
yeah.
What about Silk Song? Do we know where that's at?
Silk Song is a 91, I think.
Okay.
91 or 2. It's like it's still in the 90s. Like they're going to be competing for a lot of the same categories.
Right.
Yeah. Like
It's been a good game. It's been a good year for games, man.
Yeah. Yeah, like especially indie games specifically, like
Right.
those two. Expedition 33 that came out earlier this year, that was also a relatively small team. Technically they had backing, like some backing from Microsoft, but like the team itself was literally 30-ish people making it. That's also a very, very good
Really
game.
impressive.
Ghost of Tsushima, that's coming out. No, Ghost of Yotei, that's coming out. Yep.
Woo!
Yep. Keep forgetting you actually have a PS5, so you can actually play it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's the first time in a while I'm actually on time for the party and not super late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it's good. Although it's kind of funny that I think from memory, all the stuff that was on my most anticipated. No, Pokemon. The new Pokemon game's coming out this month as well. So hopefully I'll have time to slot that into in between Hades runs.
Oh man.
I think that's all I have for you. Anything else you want to bring up or discuss before we sign off?
I think that's it. Yeah. Yes, that's pretty much it.
All right. So with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care.